Can you guys see me and hear me?
Demonstration of Wirecast.
All right. Can you guys see me and hear me? Let's see. I see that it is streaming, but I don't know that it's streaming to this event. I think it might just be... Oh.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast. This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
All right. Hello, I see one person is watching, just trying to figure out how to get to. Yes! Thank you.
Hello,
I see one person is watching, just trying to figure out how to get to. Yes! All right, success.
Thank you. Hello, I see one person is watching, just trying to figure out.
Okay, guys. So let me just get the chat over here. All right. All set now. All right, I'm just going to shoot a quick tweet out for people. All right.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Thank you guys for your patience. Oh my goodness, that was tough. But now I know how to link it, and I can do this live actually on the weekends so that I can do it live potentially. All right, everybody can hear me, everybody can see me. This is great. Okay, so sorry we've got the Wirecast watermark there. First time using the software, so I hope you guys can see it. You know, learn as you go. This is me learning how to broadcast on YouTube while using Wirecast. So let's go ahead and I will show you guys. You guys know I'm a huge fan of trade ideas, and the entire team is just amazing at the company. They set out to create something for the end user to be able to find stocks in real time for swing trades, for option trades, for intraday trades. Basically, whatever type of trade you would like to do, you can customize the scans for that. So I will show you, this is basically when I log in, this is my setup that I come to. So I have it set up for the pre-market because I'm usually doing my watch list early in the mornings. And I will go ahead and I have the up gappers that are here. But let's go ahead and we will work on the, well, I'll show you my watch list from today so you can see what I ended up with. So I'll bring it up here. So right here you can see I ended up with CARG, ABIL, which was an amazing one today, went up into the 7s, AAOI, ENDP, and MTCH. So all of them really performed today. And I'll show you exactly how I found those. This software
This is a
makes it so
demonstration of
easy
Wirecast.
to be able to go ahead and find the stocks that you are really looking for. So I use the up gappers in the morning, and I'm going to go to the time frame. So I'm going to show you an actual, let me see if it'll give me the time. So it was today, and I will put 8:45 or 8:48 a.m. So you can go back and you can always look at what's happening in the beginning of the day. So this is what was going on in the beginning of the day. I'll slide it over so you guys can see it a little bit better because I have
Wirecast.
myself there. Hold on, here we go. Okay, so we've got it here. You can see we've got the symbol, the price, the gap amount that it gapped up in the morning. Can you guys see the whole screen okay? The gap percentage that it's sorted by. So I start out with the sorting of the gap percentage early in the morning, and then the volume for that day that's already been traded. So this is, remember, this is by 8:58 a.m. So this is back at the beginning of the day. And then we have the company name, earnings date, negative 0.25 means that it has just released earnings the day before. 0.25 would be today. The growth and revenue for the year, actually I could take that off because I don't use that, but the float I do use. If you guys have followed me at all, you know that I use the float. If you have any questions, go ahead and just put them in the chat box because I will answer them as I go along.
This is a demonstration.
Then we also have the
of
position
Wirecast.
in year range and the position in lifetime range. So what I like to do is I like to go ahead and sort it by position and lifetime range. Many times you're going to find that the stocks that are breaking out are going to continue that breakout, usually for at least 1 day, sometimes 3 days. So you can see we have CARG here. I'll explain it a little bit more. Let me go ahead and just show you which ones that I selected and why, but I'll go over the float for you. Basically, the float is the amount of publicly traded shares, or the amount of shares that are available to be publicly traded. So you can see that a float that has 4 billion shares is going to be a lot harder to move in the price. Yeah, sure, we'll do, Jose. It'll take a lot more volume to move a higher float stock. So if you imagine it like there's a particular car that you want to get. My husband's a great example, right? The NSX. So this car is not out there for everybody in the marketplace. I mean, they don't have hundreds of thousands of these cars out there. Well, maybe they do have hundreds of thousands, but they don't have that many. Particular in Canada, they have like 5 a year that you have to pre-order. So therefore, if you have 5, that means that the demand for it is higher. So therefore, the price that they're going to charge is going to be higher versus your everyday Toyota Corolla that somebody's going to buy that's a dime a dozen. Well, you've got millions of these cars out there, and so the price is going to be lower. Basic supply and demand. Once you have more people that want a low float stock like ABIL today, you're going to see that you could still have that million people buying it, but it's going to go up like crazy. I'll show you. You can see right here, and I'll explain my setup a little bit. This is the 5-minute chart versus the daily chart. And if you look at ABIL today, you can see I had it, hey, if it breaks out 479, this is going to be a good stock to go ahead and get in on. Look at that. It happened to open. Can you guys see that little pop-up window? You can see it at the top too. It opened at 480. Look at that. Opened up right. If you'd gotten in right at open, you could have gone to the high of the day, which over here will show us at the, you see right up here is the high of the day. So if you go right here, you just highlight it. So the high of the day was 857. So if you had gotten in right at 480, you could have made huge profits on that low float stock. And in particular, I'll move this out of the way. Another cool thing about this, hold on, I don't want to lose that window. Another cool thing is you have these individual stock windows right here. And this one, it gives you the stock price, the volume for the day, relative volume. So the amount of volume that it has traded today at that point in the day
This is a
which is the
demonstration
end of the day now, but if it
Wirecast.
was at the beginning of the day, you could have seen, okay, well, right here at this window, we have the volume here looks like about 1 million shares, and say it would be 2 times the normal volume traded for that time of day. This one has 795,000 in the float, which is a very low float. To me, anything that is less than 20 million is going to be a lower float stock and going to be able to move more quickly. And so I really like this because you can see if you're looking at the stocks, you can see, okay, well, hey, look, this one spiked and run up in the past. You know, it ran up here, it ended up at the top of a candle, and then it ran up and pulled back, and then the next day had a short squeeze and went from, opened at 510 to a high of 1060, doubled again that day. Then the 4th day ran up again, pulled back. So we'll see what happens going into tomorrow. But these lower float stocks, just as quickly as they go up, they can definitely drop just as fast. So you have to be really, really aware of what's going on.
Of Wirecast.
Okay, let's get back to the watch list right here. So I had said that for my watch list, that basically I had, I closed that window. Oh, here it is. I can just pull it up here for you guys. I'll just pull up the picture and we'll pull it over here. Okay, so I had CARG on my list, right? Why did I have CARG on my list? Because if you look at it on the daily chart right here.
Demonstration of Wirecast.
Oops. It's at, well, you can also see right here. It's at a year high and it's also at a 52-week high. So if you have those two things, you know that there's really no limitation to where it can go from here, right? Because it's breaking out on the year and it's breaking out overall for the stock. So all of the shorts are going to start to get squeezed. And you have people that are, welcome back, James. And yes, I believe so too, Arcady, with ABIL. So for a stock that is breaking out, you can see when it starts to break, when it broke out here, it just continued and continued and continued and continued and continued, and then had great news again today, boom, shot up again, all of those shorts. And that's why many times you'll see right at the open, you'll see that those shorts, if it's gapped up, the shorts are getting squeezed and they're covering their position immediately because they, you know, they might have had a stop that they left in the day before. And so it will be stops that are executing and it just goes right up at market open. And then other shorts might see that it's going up and start to panic, and then it will run up, run up, run up, run up. And many times you'll see that happen for the first 15 minutes of the day, and then it starts to equalize, and then the actual movement of the day will continue. So that's, but a lot of times with stocks breaking out, you have people that are buying into it. It's great news, as well as shorts that are saying, hey, I want to try to get in and I want to try to short it at the top. But the fact of the matter is they're trying to pick the top, but until there is actual movement downwards, they could get squeezed, in which case it generates more upward movement. More shorts start to get squeezed. And when it's a really low float stock, like MDGL was a great one that happened to. And it was really low float, higher dollar value, and it ran up, I think it was something crazy like $120 in one day. So you can definitely see that when it's breaking out, it is a lot harder for it to stop that momentum. And so many times those are ones that I do have on my watch list that are gapping up or just have upward movement for the day. So I put CARG for that reason. I was also watching IAC, but many people don't like to trade that higher value stock. So then I also go back and I look, okay, I sort it back by the gap, and also, let me go ahead and shrink this window a little bit here. Okay, so I got that over there. I also have this one, which is a scanner that I generated. Let me just pop it over here. So this is a scanner that I generated. It is also shared in the free trading room. Barry does have it as well. And you can also go back and go to a particular time frame. So I'll go back to today. We'll do 8:58. We'll just do AM. And these are ones that you can see are moving pre-market. Okay, so these are setting up their new highs for the day. I don't really care about the ones like Pizza and BSTI. Those are These are ones that have
This
gapped
is a
more than 4%
demonstration of
and they're setting a new
Wirecast.
high or a new low. So I also have it for the lows of the day as well. You know what, Jay, when you exit the trade, once you get into a trade, having a pre-planned exit is great. Many times I will scale out so that if there is a downward pull on the stock, I'm not feeling hesitation to hold on longer because I've already taken some profit, and go ahead and let the rest go.
This is a
So
demonstration of Wirecast.
with this, so we had BSTI, that was also moving. I didn't have it on my watch list because it came in, later into the morning, and I'd already generated my 5. But I had, I did have ENDP. Let's see here. I had AAOI, which I also saw. I don't even remember where I got AAOI from. I think I got it over here because I saw that it was because it gapped up 23%. Well, you guys can't see that. There we go. It had gapped up 23% and it had already had 100,000 in volume, and it was already, up $8 at that time. And also the match group. At this point, it had massive volume as well. And I also like AAOI because I know the stock being a lower float stock. Thank you, Phoenix Trader. And SSLJ had been a runner in the past, but it's so low and it didn't have a lot of volume to it, so I wasn't really interested in it. ENDP, I looked at it. Okay, it's breaking out on the year, so I like that. However, it is on the low end of the range for the lifetime. But anytime also what's cool is you can click right on a stock, on a ticker right here. I know I've got a lot of windows going on, guys, so let me know if you need to see anything, if I'm confusing you. So you can see, okay, well, hey, look, this is broken out for the year. If you look back, I also use TradingView as well, so I can see a bigger picture other than just the daily here. You can also change the time frames on these, but the max that you can go back is daily. So many times I will look at a weekly or monthly chart as well on TradingView, which is also free, or you can pay for a premium service as well. But I like to look back and see if there's any prior resistance for a stock. And so I saw, hey, this one's got some great upward potential movement. You can see this green line. That green line is, 1489. That's where I went ahead and I set my alert. I like to set my alerts before the market opens. So it's, hey, if this one's breaking out that pre-market range, then it could definitely go ahead and have upward movement, because I'm not the only person that's watching for it to break that. Many shorts are thinking, okay, that's going to potentially be my resistance that I'm going to look for to be broken before I will go ahead and cover, because it could easily pull back from there. So that's a lot of times that I will wait to go long from that because it will go ahead and provide momentum as soon as it breaks it. So it went ahead, tested it, ran up to 1734, high of the day, and then slowly came back down. This one will potentially have second, third day momentum to it. However, you can see that it did run up and then pull back some. It is 222 million in the float, but this has 178 million. I use shortsqueeze.com, and I can sign into that to show you guys how I use that as well to get the short float volume. Does everybody know what the short float volume is?
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Basically, the short float volume is the volume that has been traded the prior day that's been reported to the exchanges that has been shorted for the day. So, for example, ENDP on my, you guys can't really see that. So ENDP right here had 51.84% short float volume. So if I go and I log into Short Squeeze, which I will do right here, and I'll pull up the window, this will actually show us the volume for today. So we can also see, like someone had mentioned ABIL, so we will look at that. So ENDP, for example, today's short float volume that was reported to the exchanges was 20% of the volume today. If anybody was short ABIL or long,
This
you
is a
can see
demonstration of
ABIL's
Wirecast.
short float for today was 53%. So how I use that is, yes, Tammy, they do give the short float volume, but that's the short float volume that's reported every 2 weeks by the overall exchanges. This is actually looking at the daily short float volume. Does that make sense, Tammy? So it's actually, if you look here, you can go to, let's see, resources, the release dates right here. So you can see these are the release dates that you get the information from the exchanges. So for example, August 9th, you're going to get the information about the stocks that they'd reported on July 31st. So it's 2 weeks delayed. And I used to really think that that was really cool that they had that information, but I now know that that's about 2 weeks delayed. And this will give you the daily short volume. If you click on it here, this is the evening after each trading day. Shortsqueeze.com has the short sale volume percentage. It's calculated using the daily aggregate reported share volume of executed short sale trades during the regular trading hours. So anytime that it is higher than 50%, you know that, okay, absolute worst case scenario of the shares of ABIL, 3.94% of 22 million are still short. So I look at that. Okay, we'll shrink this a little bit. So it was 3.94. So 0.0394, 3.94% times 22,506,882. So we have 886,000 shares that are still short overnight for ABIL. And I'm a bit of a dork this way, in that I take the time and I will actually look, okay, hey, this is over 50%. It is a lower float stock. We know that once that volume, that critical volume of 886,000 shares, if it is still running up and 886,000 shares have been traded, there's a good likelihood that, well, if it hasn't been traded by the time that open happens, there's a good likelihood that that's going to squeeze at open. It could just be a 30-second squeeze, but there's a good likelihood that those shorts are going to feel the pain and they will go ahead and start to cover, or they could potentially have a forced cover if they have a margin call. And the broker will go ahead and close out the account, in which case that could create a snowball effect and drive the price up. And you also have the low float traders that are in on it, watching for this volume and movement to happen, and it just goes ahead and it grows exponentially. So ABIL, definitely on watch for tomorrow. All right, so we will get back. Oh, let me shrink this back down again. So AAOI picked it up here because it was 23% up. ABIL because that one was moving again on the gap up movers from the morning. We had MTCH, ENDP, and ABIL. And I also had AAOI. So that's how I came up with my pre-market movement, is really using these tools and trusting these tools. You know, the gappers obviously have a catalyst and they have the volume and people are interested in it, which is going to be a great way to find a stock to trade intraday. And on the flip side, so I'll get rid of this. On the flip side, we also have the gap down movers. I have the same thing pre-market. We'll go ahead, we'll pull this up so we can show you the pre-market gappers that were gapping down. I'll do 8:45 a.m. today. So same thing. I'm looking for those stocks that are breaking down to the new 52-week low, right? So that's exactly what these two columns are. I'll move it over so you guys can see it. So you've got the position and year rating and position and lifetime. So go ahead and sort it by lifetime, because many times you're going to see those ones that are dropping down, like MXWL. That one was an all-time loser for the year. And once again, so that's right there on the list. That one's going to go ahead and drop down.
This
And
is
then
a
we go back.
demonstration of
For sure, I want that
Wirecast.
one on the list because it's going to go ahead and more than likely continue in the down. No, I don't think Holly is talking in the background. I think it's just me. I'm clicking on the mouse. Maybe you hear the clicks. So we have FTK, but a $2.30 stock, I don't really like those. You know, more than $5 is really what I'm looking at for a short. I could go ahead and limit this, but there are some, I just put it on there to watch because if there's some really low float
This
stocks
is
that
a
are dropping down
demonstration
too,
of Wirecast.
then I will put them on watch because these are stocks that are highly volatile, right? The lower float stocks are highly volatile. And whether it is gapping down or gapping up, I'm probably going to watch it because even though it could be down a low float stock that's down like PZZA, if anybody was trading that today, you saw that it really ran up today and it has 22 million in the float. So just because it is down for the day doesn't mean that it's not going to be traded. And these on my watch list, when I do have, I'll put it right here. When I do have a long for the day, that just is more that the momentum at open is long bias at open. It doesn't mean that, oh, you know what? I think it's just Wirecast. I'm sorry about that. I have no idea how to turn that off, guys. You know what? I'm going to have to just, this is my first time using it, and so it's a demo, so maybe that's why it's saying this is a demo of Wirecast. Sorry, I bet that's probably annoying, but
Wirecast.
we will go ahead and we'll get it fixed. But not this time, unfortunately. Yay, welcome, Pat. So, you know, these, like, we also have TWNK here. So I have TWNK, it was down 16%, EXTR down 20%, BECN down 16%, RGNX down, 8.9%. So a lot of what I'm getting is really from actually from trade ideas, from seeing the gappers, from seeing what is moving. You know, this is great because these windows that I have generated will automate and they will tell you, it has text to speech, so I can say, okay, well, let's go ahead and look at today's for in the morning. Let's see, we did
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
We'll do 8:45 a.m. again. So we have it here. So as I'm setting up the watch list, I hear this stuff happening. I can see, okay, BSTI was hitting new lows, and this, every time that it populates a new low, it will pop up. And so EXTR at 8:45 had a new low, and it was 7:05. And as it's happening pre-market, it will go ahead and it will say, okay, we also had, for the gap up movers, we had PZZA, we had Papa John's Pizza, and that was hitting new highs because it had bounced off of the lows of the pre-market. So they're always active. And so these, the ones that I get from this gap up window, which Barry also has as well, that you can share if you're a Trade Idea subscriber, or you can also email me at carpeprofit@gmail.com and I can share them with you as well. So those, they're invaluable tools because you can't always watch everything, but if you have the ability to listen, sorry, there's a little bug in here. If you have the ability to listen to it and hear it tell you, okay, EXTR is setting a new low. If you happen to be short EXTR, you want to hear this being shouted out to you throughout the morning because it's going to be like, oh, profit, 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 profit every single time that you hear that going down as long as you're short. But you also want to watch it because you could hear that if you're not watching it and you're just hearing the automated, it could be setting up a new high even though you're short. So you want to pay attention to it when you do hear the automation. And so that's how I do it for my pre-market. And for my, for going into tomorrow, let's see, so end of the day, scans for longs, just to set it up, you just go ahead, pull it up. I'll show today's information and we can go ahead. I'll shut this, shut this, shut this, shut this. We don't need this stuff.
This
Okay.
is a demonstration of
So this
Wirecast.
going into tomorrow. So, you know, we had ABIL that I would watch. And these are ones that are setting up. You can see, okay, position in lifetime range. We've got ALRM. I want to look at it. Did it close up at the top of the day? No, not really interested in that one. AYX, did it close up at the top of the day? Does that look interesting? Oh, look, it had aftermarket hours activity. Okay, ABIL, AYX. Those look like two great ones to watch. SIEN, nope. TCMD. Yeah, this one, it pulled back $1.30, and that looks like a second day of resistance. So I might put it on watch to see. I would also be interested in knowing what that short volume is to see if it has a large short float. You know, right here, it does have 17 million in the float, so that one could be a good one. If it does have pre-market activity where the shorts start to get squeezed, it could be a good one.
This is a
IRMD, I had
Wirecast.
this on my watch list going into the week. You guys can see it right here. Can you see it? IRMD. I had this on watch. I said, hey, if this one breaks 25.20, then I think it's a good long. Well, sure enough, closed today at 27.25. So, and it's a lower float with 4.54 million in the float. Curious to know what the short float volume is. You know, you could have gotten in today at 25.20 and had it run up $2 for you. So that's another good one to watch. So we have IRMD, ABIL, AYX. Let's check on ARII. This one closed again at the top of the day. Lower float stock. This is also nice too because it says the next resistance 46.96. So basically the high of the day today, which is going to be where we're looking, but it's not overall breakout for the stock. You see, because this is, well, let me pull it over a little bit more so you guys can see it. So these are ones, the position in lifetime range versus the position in year range, but these are all basically all highs for the year, right? So we want to know what stocks are ending up high on the year, high on the day, and position in lifetime range too would be great. So we have ARII, IRMD, AYX, ABIL, and I would throw CREE in there as well. So those would be my 5 longs right off the bat that I would look at. You guys have any questions so far? So again, we'll do it same sort of thing for the shorts for the day. So these are going to be the ones, they have basically set new 52-week lows. They are ending up tons. Well, you can go ahead and ask them, Jay. I just want it to sort. Sure, I'll be happy to show that. I can show you actually, I was trading ABIL this morning, and I'll show you.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Okay, so we're going to look on the flip side. If I'm looking for shorts going into the next day, I would look, okay, JELD, this one. I want to, hold on one second. Let me go ahead and sort this so that we don't have repeating. So time and descending. Okay. So here we go. That's no longer repeating. So JELD.
Demonstration of Wirecast.
Basically, let me pull this down a little bit for you guys. So it ended up low of the year and low of the day. So we're looking for continuation of downward movement. Yeah, guys, you know, honestly, for stop losses, many times if you put in a hard stop loss, they are usually sold to brokers. And so those brokers once you put it in, the market makers see it.
This
And
is a
if it is close
demonstration
to
of
the price action,
Wirecast.
many times the market makers will just drop it right down so that that stop gets executed. So if you have a mental stop and you're able to sit there with your hand on the trigger, okay, it's hit my stop, I need to get out, jump out, versus putting in a hard stop, because a hard stop will 95% of the time get taken out if that price action is there. Yeah, happy to set it up, Tammy, and show you exactly.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
I'll show you exactly how to do that. Jose, you know, there's different brokers. I don't know if you're in the US or elsewhere. I'm with IB and TD. So let's go ahead and look for other shorts for the day. So I like this one because at the end, the low of the year and low of the lifetime. So DBD, it's still above $5. Like I said, I don't really want ones that are less than $5. We've got MMLP.
This is a
Clicked on it
demonstration
here.
of Wirecast.
Looks like, let's see. Whoop, let me just move this and look at the volume. Relative volume for the day was 2.4, and it has 31 million in the float. Had 313,000 shares traded. Like CMT, not really interested in it because I'll talk about that, Pat. Well, it's basically for my longer term swing picks. I use a different strategy, but I won't go over that tonight. But you know, basically any stock that is pulling back, I would say watch it, and you can definitely watch it in the longer term for a run up. Any stock that has majorly dropped, like Facebook, that's a value stock and it drops 25% in a day, you know that that's just an overreaction, in my opinion, to the news, that people are just selling the news as opposed to actually, you know, trading it. It's more, and many times you'll also see that when a stock drops more than 20% off of the high, that the mutual funds are pretty much, it's black and white to them, because they're not allowed to hold it after it drops at 20%. So if you see a stock coming off the high, say it was at 100 and now it's down to 80, many times the mutual funds will have to go ahead and sell it. So if there's a large institutional holdings, you will see that that day it will drop even further because they're just exiting their position of, say, a large mutual fund position, and they're exiting it, and that will drop the stock down further, as well as you have retail buyers that are selling it off as well. Okay, so far for shorts we have excuse me, we have JELD. Let me just get a little water. We also have DBD. Let's see here, EXTR. How's that looking? That one dropped down today. I would look for this one to have a second day continuation movement downward. I don't have the float here, but if I just pull it over right here, we can see 109 million in the float right there. So I would put that down as well for second day continuation of the move. MMLP. And then we'll check these and see where they, I'd add Sina as well.
This is a demonstration.
Yes, Nab. I typically will go ahead and do one trade at a time, or if I am in a trade where I already have a profit set in, I will go ahead and put that hard stop in. I'll do a bracket order so that I can let it run up, as well as securing that no matter what, I'm taking a profit, so that if it pulls back, then it will go ahead and secure that profit for me. And RKD, no, I don't typically buy end of day. Excuse me, because I am busy. You know, I usually walk away from my desk 11, 12 at the latest, and I am done for the day. I will pack up shop. I will usually just look at things on my phone, see where the positions are. One thing, definitely the SPY, thinking, you know, I just love this software. You can type anywhere. You click on it and you type. I am definitely short biased on the SPY right here. It has this gap up, and it looks like, you know, the high of this candle was 284.99. So breaking this 285 level, we could pull back down. We've got a high right here of 284.37. So I think 285, 284.37, and then down, you know, to this, the high of this candle here, 283.20. So I think it's got potentially $1.80 to the downside that it could move from here. Uh-oh, why do you say uh-oh, Tammy? All right, so, and you guys have any other questions? I know, Tammy, you wanted to set up a new
demonstration of Wirecast.
A new alert. So what sort of alert window do you want to set up, Tammy? What are you looking for? Bullish, bearish? Is there a particular type of stock that you like to trade? What dropped back? SPY? Yeah, SPY dropped down after hours. It's at 285. Okay, so basically if you're looking long, do you want these, you know, you have new daily highs, unusual social mentions, new yearly highs, turbo breaks up, 3% of reporting earnings today, swing long candidates, up pre-market. What criteria are you looking for a long? I mean, because all of these are going to be, like, you could do bottom pattern recognition. So this is an algorithm. So yes, Edgar, I'm going to leave it up on YouTube as well. Even though unfortunately it has that Wirecast, but it's the first time I've used it. Okay, so end of day high. So basically the ones that I have actually done, so we did new yearly highs. Can I set the speed of the scanner? You can set the speed of how quickly it refreshes, but it scans automatically. Okay, so basically new high, we can say, okay, you want it at the high of the day, right? So you want to see that it's, let's see. We can try this and see. Instead of, you know what, I don't use the actual pattern recognition, but that might be one. We can look at it and see for the alerts, but they have so many. If you look actually on the web page itself, if we just go to trade ideas, let's see here. They have a page where it talks about every single one. Actually, if we go here, we'll go to columns, and we'll just go here, we go to more, and then filter. All right, so new high. Okay, great. Let's go back. So we're doing new highs. Okay, now Tammy, what is the criteria that you want for your stock? Price range. Jay, this one, you know, FinViz, I haven't used their premium package, but you can definitely check around and play with it and see. I'll look and see if they have a double bottom for you. Tammy, what sort of price range are you looking? Change from close, relative volume, we'll say 2. Volume today, I would put at least 100,000. Change from the close, we'll put up 10%. Nah, that's a big percentage. Yeah, 2 times relative volume. And what is there a price range that you'd like to see, Tammy?
Demonstration of Wirecast.
Okay, and you want it up 3% from the close. And price range, we'll just put $1 to $45. And since we put new highs, these are just daily highs. New daily highs. Okay. So IHT, we'll put today's trading day. But you can see you are probably going to get a lot
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
a lot of stocks because they've hit highs. And then what you can do is you can also go in, okay, well, for now, we're properties, view mode, group and sort. We'll do time and descending so that that will go ahead and limit how many we really have. But you can see this is a lot of stocks. This is a lot of stocks setting highs. Okay, so let's go back in, let's configure it, and we will go and we hit advanced. Okay, so where are they potentially in the range for the day? So you can see like, okay, 15-minute breakout from opening range, and in fact, something that I haven't used yet, but there is pre-market highs above pre-market lows. Let's see, breaking out, opening range breakout, but you can use, we could do pre-market.
This is a demonstration
above the pre-market high. Just adding this in, Tammy, so that we know. SBBP, so you can see AVIL. These are ones not necessarily where they ended up in the day, but again, we pulled back and we're like, okay, well, these are ones that have closed above the pre-market high, right? So we know that these are above the pre-market high throughout the day. They broke out today, basically. And we can configure it and get it down even sharper and say, all right, let's see, what is the, we want to see the range on the day, right? So we want to make sure that in today's range, we want to know, well, we'll show the column, but we'll also add the window specific. Yeah, I could put volume 500,000. And we'll put it to 50. And in today's range, we want a minimum of, we'll try 75% of the day's range. We want it in that upper 75%. So we pull back for today. All right. So these are ones that are closing and they're ending up fairly high. ENDP,
this is a demonstration
ETM,
of Wirecast.
FRTA, GoGo. That one actually went down. Not sure why that's showing that. It still says 82% though. Because of where it gapped up from the close. HTGM, INSG. So this is of the daily range. Well, this one pulled back. Not sure why I did that one. MTCH,
This
of the
is
average
a
day range,
demonstration
I
of
guess.
Wirecast.
SBBP, again. TLRA. 2. RKD, I might say that these potentially, you can think about the stocks that you like to see. Why is it that you want them at the lower 20% of the year range, or the new low that you use, say maybe for the past 5 days, but it's up 5%. So you have to look at stocks that you like to, Tammy, I can share it too with you. Just shoot me an email or shoot me a Twitter message or an email, and I'll be happy to share. I'll save this. I'll go in, configure, advanced, summary, and I'll put Tammy, and I'll share it with you.
This is a demonstration
you just have to do
Wirecast.
history today, and then I'll pull it all up for you. So if you have something in particular that you like, Arcady, I would say break it down. Is it that you see that you like to find a stock that is, it's been down for the past 5 days and it finally hit a new high after hitting a new 52-week low in the past 5 days? what are the parameters that you really like?
This is a
Oh,
demonstration
my pleasure,
of
Tammy.
Wirecast.
What are the parameters that you really like in the stocks that are curling up, and then go from billing and alert from there. And that's it. Any other questions, guys? If you guys don't have any other questions, I am going to go ahead and put this up on YouTube as well, so you guys can watch it later. And I will probably be doing this. I think I'm going to do it every Wednesday evening at 8 p.m. Pat, you know what? There's I forget his name now. Bompara. Bompara will write algorithms, and he does auto trading. And so you can definitely, I mean, that's what this is about. So if you guys had premium, you can go ahead and you could back test this strategy, and you could say, okay, we know that it is broken out. So maybe 9:45 to, we'll say 11:59. Let's simulate buy and see how this strategy would work overall. What's the win ratio, profit factor, everything like that. So it looks like the profit factor would be 1.51. It would have 51.9% winners. And yeah, that great. Thanks for reminding me, Jay. You know, it has 51.9% winners. If you'd held it, and then you can go back and you can go back even further and do the settings for the optimization of it. Okay, well, let's see. Looks like the stock's $20 to $25. Really are not the great price range, but 25 to 30, good win ratio, 100% on those, as well as 40-45. So maybe you want to go ahead and say, all right, well, I really want to look at just stocks $25 to $30 and $40 to $45. Actually, $40 to $50, because those tend to have great profits, and also 5 to 20, because those have good profit as well. But the ones that are 0 to 5, as well as 20 to 25, those might not be ones that you would want to look at. And you can go back and you could run it again, and you can say, okay, well, let's see, a time to exit. We want to get in 30 minutes after the entry. 46. We'll go keep it 60 minutes after the entry, and we will see if it breaks new high. How would that work? If we bought it, held it for an hour, and then sold. Well, that does not look like that would improve it. It drops it down. So you can definitely back test, but again, this is with the premium that you have the ability to back test the strategy and see. And then once you have one that you have set up and you see, okay, well, this is great, then you could go ahead and do auto trading with interactive brokers and trade ideas together. All right, so let's go back to ABIL, and I'm actually going to pull it up on TradingView, and I will pull that screen up. And I will go ahead and give it a 15-minute candle here, and pull this up here for you guys to see. And let me just see what you guys are seeing. Okay, so right here was basically the open, and I'm actually going to go ahead and pull it back to 5 minutes. And so basically, if you've gotten in here, I actually got in when it broke right here. I was in at 544. So I was in at 544, and then it never really broke down below the VWAP. It was holding it on the 5-minute chart. And I was looking, I was like, okay, well, this is the parabolic SAR. This is going to be our 9 EMA and 20 SMA. And then this is 200 moving average, period. And the VWAP is this lighter blue. So basically I was like, okay, well, it's holding the VWAP. I was watching the volume. I was watching level 2. and I saw, okay, well,
This is a
once it breaks
demonstration
right
of
here,
Wirecast.
once it goes ahead and it breaks the 550 range again, then it's going to go ahead and skyrocket up. And if you look back at my tweets, you will see I said, once it hits 550, you are going to see that this is going to run up, because also looking at the heat map, that there was a bunch of sellers that had sold it just below in this range right here. They were trying to sell it down. You can see the two red candles here, but the volume was not dropping off. The volume was still coming in. And many times when you have a low float stock the first day, you will see, you know, inexperienced shorts trying to get in, and they are trying to go ahead and start short selling, because one of the strategies that it's taught, that Timothy Sykes is great at, and some of his traders are really good at, is that they are looking to short sell a low float stock, because they know as quickly as it goes up, it can go down. But many times the shorts that get in will go ahead and start to get squeezed, because they don't realize how quickly it can go up. And so then you have, that's why when you there's also this, obviously, any stock, once you see it break out, well, then it's broken this resistance, and a low float stock, okay, it's broken, shorts are starting to get squeezed and longs are getting in, so you have double the power. So then you have it come up here, and I took profit at 6.49 actually, so I took $1 profit on my position and left a small position up with just a trailing stop that ended up, I had it with a 7% drawback, a trailing stop of actually 6%, and it ended up closing out, I think it was at 662. So once I went ahead and just said, hey, if this one continues to run, I'm willing to go ahead and let it run up. You know, I could have put a stop back at the VWAP, but I wanted to go ahead and just lock the profit and just let it continue.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
No, Pat, that's not, no, never had anybody do that. Does that help you, Jay, as to the entry and exit and everything like that? I mean, for me, I'm looking at the volume. I'm looking at level 2, especially on the lower float stocks, because they will definitely move very, very quickly.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Yes, Tammy, these, you have to be really careful with the lower floats. And I saw this one, like I said, in pre-market, and it was right here. I said, hey, 479, if that breaks out, then it's going to go ahead and be a potential long. Pat, you want to know about Fibonacci's. So basically what I would do for potential exits, so right here, I would say, okay, well, here, this is the pre-market high, so once it breaks this level here, if it breaks the 521 level, then I'm going to go ahead and look for it to continue up, go ahead and set this here. My next potential exit would be up here, 622, but I started to see that it was moving up, and so I was adjusting my, once it broke the 6 level, because many times the short sellers and other people are thinking, hey, I want to get out at that whole number. You guys know whole numbers and half dollars are ones that are mental resistance, and people are like, oh, I got in at 5, I want to get out at 550, I want to get out at 6, I want to get out at 650. So I went ahead and I put my stop in at 649, and then you can see, okay, well, put it up here to the high of this candle, 607, and sure enough, it went up just above. This is the negative 23.6. So as the day is going along, you can adjust it, and you can see, okay, look here at 696. This is the level at which the Fibonacci is saying, hey, let's go short. And sure enough, it broke it up again, but this pretty much held a resistance, and then it came back down for the day. So going into tomorrow, sorry, you guys are typing really. So RKD, really, you know what, with price target, I was just letting it dictate. And then I went ahead and I put in 649 and it went up and it shot up there really quickly before I could move it up any further, up to, because I saw it at 630 and then it was already at 649 before I could move it up. Are you using STR trailing? I'm not sure what STR trailing is. ATR trailing. Average true range trailing. Got it. No, what I did for this one was I did a percentage of the stock. So I knew that if this pulled back 8% or 6% off of 7, that is, it should be 42 cents. Yeah. So I was looking at the percentage on that.
Of Wirecast.
This is parabolic SAR. Right here. These are parabolic SARs. So if, once this broke right here at 476, it was giving a signal to go long. And then you can potentially use the 418 as a potential stop. Does that make sense, Tammy? For parabolic SAR? If it doesn't make sense, look it up in Investopedia. That's the best way I could give you a definition of it.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
You guys have any other questions? All right, guys, if you don't have, which leading indicators do I use? You know what, really, I would say it's pretty much resistance and support, as well as Fibonacci's and volume is what I'm really using now. Because yes, you could use the EMAs and the SMAs, and some people use crosses and everything like that. Some people use what is it? Ichimoku cloud. What is it? I have it here. Yeah, Ichimoku cloud, crossovers, VWAP, all that sort of stuff. But really, the cleaner the chart is, the easier it is to look at. And if you look at the bigger picture, 15-minute, if you looked at the 15-minute chart, really, if you got in down here at 480, okay, it held this candle here. I would look at the bottom of this, 523's potential stop. If I'd gotten in here, 523, the low of this candle, or basically here's your VWAP. So it dropped below VWAP a little bit, but on the 15-minute chart, it never really looked like you should get out until, actually, it never broke below the candles until right here. So it looks like 623 would have been the real exit that you would want to get if you just looked at that part of if you just looked at this part of the chart, because you never really had a signal before then to get out, in my opinion. All right, guys. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this. I think I'm probably going to do it again next week, or try to do it weekly for you guys, and really just try to help, and break stuff down in how I use it, and to help you guys see what I see and profit from it. So have a great night, and shoot me any questions you have at carpeprofit@gmail.com. Oh, thanks, Lucky. Thanks, Tammy. And Tammy, definitely shoot me that email, and I will share that cloud link with you for trade ideas. If you guys are interested in signing up for trade ideas, I have a link, bit.ly, trade ideas, and also Carpe, Profit 15. That'll get you 15% off if you guys want to. Tesla, I saw somebody posted Tesla
Wirecast,
saying that they were thinking that Elon Musk was going to go ahead and take it private. And I think, he's probably doing that to try to squeeze shorts, in my opinion, to go ahead and sell some shares and then drop the stock down with some bad news and then potentially buy it. if he's actually looking to go ahead and purchase it. But I think that that is a move to try to get people to get the shorts to go ahead and cover. Thanks, T-Bone. My hubby calls me Mama Jane too. All right, guys, have a wonderful night. I am sleepy after taking care of my little ones, and I will see you guys in the Trade Ideas trading room. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys too. Just got a new, let's see, Trend Spider.
This is a demonstration.
I just met with the owner of Trend Spider, and it's a really cool new software, and I'm excited. I'm going to go ahead and demo it, and it will actually draw the trend lines for you. So it's really cool, and I'm really excited to go ahead and test it out, and I will be testing it out tomorrow, so I will let you guys know as well all about that, and if it's something you guys should check out as well. All right, guys, have a wonderful night. Carpe Profit, seize those profits one trade at a time, and grow your account. Have a great night, guys. Yes, trendspider.com.
Of Wirecast.